Welcome to I'm Not Joking, the podcast where a behavioral scientist examines what it's like to live a humorous life. Glimpse into the lives of the funniest people in entertainment, business, and science as your host, Dr. Peter McGraw, explores their habits, motivations, and secrets to success. Get ready to fire up your brain and your funny bone. Now, here's your host.
Welcome to I'm Not Joking, the podcast that looks at the lives of funny people. I'm Peter McGraw. Today's guest is Melbourne comedian Lisa Skye. As you will quickly find out, describing Lisa Skye as a comedian does a disservice to her unique persona. A regular on the Australian art circuit, Lisa Skye is currently performing Spiders Wearing Party Hats. Welcome, Lisa.
Hi there.
And is it okay to say Lisa, or is it always Lisa Skye?
Oh no, Lisa is good. I have face blindness, well, partial face blindness.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, so it's part of my ADHD. So when people greet me as Lisa Skye, I think, it's a fan. And when people say Lisa, I'm like, oh good, I know this person.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, and that's how I almost accidentally accepted a lift from a stranger once.
I have an ex-girlfriend who had that.
Yeah, it sucks.
So she... And I have another friend who has it. What's it called? It's like something.
Not aphasia, but something is like a...
Yes.
I don't know.
Stasia. It has a ja thing in it.
It's why you like this ja. It's go on then. It's not that hard ja. Oh, I was watching The Sopranos. It took me easy a full season because they're all like round brunette Italian gentlemen.
Yes.
And it's ridiculous. They all look exactly the same except for Paulie, who looks like a Muppet. And so I'd be like, why is he killing his daughter? That's not, it's a different guy.
Yeah, so for people who don't know, a lot of people don't know this exists.
Yeah.
The way, my recollection of this is an ex-girlfriend from several years back. First of all, I was like, oh, of course that's why you're dating me.
Oh, no, it ain't like that.
No,
Babe, it ain't like that.
But she said that she uses the way, like, shape and movement and color.
Yes. Hair is a big one for me.
Uh-huh.
Not really shape, because I don't know if anyone is fat or thin or tall or short until they tell me. And also kind of, for lack of a less hippie-esque term, general energy or vibe of someone. So I've had a friend come to my door and be like, hello, and they've dyed their hair. And I've been like, hello, how are? And she
no solicitors.
Yeah, and she was like, are you kidding? It's Kay. Really? Are you kidding? Really? I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Really?
Enter my house. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
when did you figure... So you're already getting in the way of my first question.
Oh, sorry, I do go on.
My first question is always, if you weren't working as an artist, what would you be doing?
University admin.
So this came up before we were chatting about the building that we're in right now.
Yes.
So you were doing university admin.
Yeah, that was my day job. I loved it because I have this very, creative, like I look like a clown show. I look like Zach Galifianakis banged a pixie, right? That's the look I'm going for. Like a drag queen in a pot plant having sex on a broken disco ball and birthing a floor pill. Do you guys have floor pills in America?
Floor pills?
Don't worry. And I worked in university admin.
Okay.
And it was amazing. I loved it because I have a very type A personality.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very administrative, very organized. I think a lot of that is to do with a late diagnosis of ADHD.
Okay.
So I have all these like coping mechanisms that I didn't realize were coping mechanisms.
Like creating structure?
Yeah, just being so organized, being amazing at project management and stuff, because I have to rely on electronic brains or even, analog brains, because mine doesn't hold things in it.
So this is really interesting because so we have a mutual friend, Ross Float,
Yes.
who I interviewed not even a week ago. And I asked him, who do I need to speak to in Melbourne? His first answer was, you have to talk to Lisa Skye.
Yes, I'm very good.
And
well-known
you're
in
off to a good
industry.
start. That's good. And then he emailed you because I also said, well, besides Lisa Skye, who should I talk to? And he said that within 5 minutes,
Blam, yeah.
you sent him an email that he forwarded on to me, which is, no joke, 30 comedians.
24.
24?
No, we'll go with 30. It makes me sound better.
But a lot of comedic talent.
All Melbourne-based,
All
varying
Melbourne-based?
in demographics and established or emerging or mid-career artists.
Yes, because I have and he said literally 5 minutes it came in. So that's consistent. That's not an unusual feat for you.
No, well, I am very, very good, and that's why I was so good at university admin. Like, I worked at the uni for 5 years. I went up 4 full pay grades in 13 months. I was just like, this is the business. It was like an alcoholic working in a pub, because I was able to do a million little tasks at once and drop everything and do this.
Okay.
And also I have that thing that a lot of very, very, very busy people have, which is, okay, this is a B or C task, but it's going to take 30 seconds.
So you can knock
So I
it
can
out.
just do that and not think about it. Yeah. And I also have that stuff on record, because one of my favorite things is connecting good people to good projects.
Okay.
I love it. So I'm very protective. I'm a daddy. So I'm like, yes, this is my people. You enjoy them. Yes, they can enjoy you. So I have, a list of comics that I refer to. So it was just a quick thing of, okay, who's in town in the next month? Blam, 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 copy, paste.
Yeah, this is nice. And when we set up this appointment today, you said I'm available from 3:45 to 4:45.
Yes.
So that
It's important to give people parameters.
Yeah, so that was like, but that's unusual. 3:45.
Because I've got a wedding in Cremorne at 5:30.
Yes, I
Yeah.
will have you out of here on time. We
I know,
share some similar
I have
traits.
20 minutes wiggle room on everything.
I see.
I would rather, my mum was late for everything. You're going to get a lot of mother and dad talking comedians. But she was pathologically late, so I'd rather be 2 hours early for everything for the rest of my life
Then to even be
than
1
3
minute
minutes late. Yeah. Oh, it makes me feel like I'm being buried alive. Oh.
So this is uncomic like trait. that you
Yes.
have.
Trying to organize comics is like nailing a cloud to a wall. I love them, and it's a great opportunity for me to challenge my hang-ups.
Go on. Tell me more.
Well, because a lot of creative people are, they're, our brains tend to work differently. And we're a bit broken, because that's why we do this. And there's too much going on, in one's brain. And so the faders on, my husband's the sound engineer. So the faders on, for example, creativity are up to 10.
Okay.
So the faders for something else need to go down. And a lot of the time that's organization or things like that. So I'm very used to wrangling people. Like
Give me some tips. What works if I'm scheduling comedians to do this stuff. How do I get them here on time?
My administrative background really helped. So SMART goals, specific, measurable, achievable. So giving them time parameters.
Yes.
Also reminding them on the day, which you did, was great. Having said that, like one of my friends said in New York, if you're 15 minutes early, you're on time. If you're 10 minutes early, if you're on time, you're late.
Yes.
If you're late, you're fired.
Okay.
And I had like 1/13 of a climax. I was like, oh. But comics just, they'll come when they'll try a lot. I don't know. Is that patronizing? Am I being patronizing?
You're
I just
being
beaten
honest.
down?
You're just being honest, no?
It's good though, because I go the other way. Like I obsess over little things a lot, like the fact that I have to be early. If I was 10 minutes late for this, it's okay, because, it's only going to go for 45 minutes. I've already built 20 minutes in. So it's not going to be the end of the world, except for the fact that it is disrespectful to be late to something.
Yeah.
So I need to calm my tits a bit about that. So it helps having comics, because then I know, if I say a call time of 7:30, they're going to get there at 8, and that's going to have to be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So so admin paid the bills, I assume?
Yes, yeah.
And you were good at it, and
Yeah.
it checked a lot of boxes.
Oh, it was so great. I struggled a bit in a corporate environment, because look at me, drag queen. Also, I'm not good at managing people.
Okay.
Which I learnt quite late. I tend to hold them up to the same standards I hold myself, which is unfair. And yeah, and so I loved it, but I ended up working 2 full-time jobs because comedy was becoming a full-time job, and the university admin peak times are the same as festival peak times. So at the start of the year, enrollments, orientation, all of that, it's the Australian Summer Festival season. And then April is like exams, special consideration. European Festival time, July, August is mid-year enrollment.
Okay.
And so there was only so many years I could be like, hey, I'm okay to...
It's time for a holiday.
Yeah, I can leave for 5 weeks at your busiest time.
Right.
I can do that. And so I had to make a decision. And
It seems like an obvious decision.
It's such a cliche. You know, I'm lucky enough that I can do this full time. You know, like we're a family of, well, pretty much 3 because it's my husband and I, and my boyfriend lives with us, and he's unemployed. The
boyfriend.
Yeah, for mental health reasons,
okay.
And because this takes a lot to deal with. Zing! My ex-wife. Oh, for the audience, I'm just doing a little bit of a shuffle. Yeah, comedy. So yeah, we're pretty much on 2 artist wages because Husbo's in film and I'm in this.
Yes.
So
and you have dogs too.
Yes, I have Dr. Shadow, and she's a 50. This is how Dr. Shadow speaks. She's a 52 kilo Rottweiler. That's a Rottweiler Mastiff cross. Yes, and she's quite the gentleman. She's 6.
Yes.
Yes.
Seems like a sweet dog from the videos I've seen.
Oh, she is the most perfect gentleman. We've had her for a year, and she hasn't wrecked any of our stuff.
Yeah. But that's expensive to feed that animal. No?
Yeah, because she's the size of a lot of my friends. So it's brutal. Like, I don't do scatological humour, but picking up her leavings is so brutal because it's a nightmare every time. I will never get used to it.
You know, I love like different words for things. So leavings,
her eliminate.
Yeah,
that's what. My husband and I and my boyfriend and I are very waspy about it. We're like, you know, did she eliminate today? Yes. We also have a bearded dragon, but Chris handles that. Chris is the husband. A bearded dragon.
I don't know what that is.
A big lizard.
Okay.
Lizard about that big. We inherited him.
Okay, so about a foot long would be 20 centimeters. No, 30 centimeters.
I'm one of. Oh no, he's probably more about 9 inches, in the body. But I'm one of the few Australians that I speak in inches and centimeters. My friends.
Inches and centimeters.
Yeah, it drives my friends crazy because I'm like, oh no, I need a box that's about, I don't know, like 5 inches by like 8 centimeters, and that to me is so clear. And they're like, no, and I can't do 100 like centimeters for people. Doesn't work because it's like I think I'm 151 centimeters. I don't know, but I'm 5'1". That's easy. You can tell 5'1". That's that. Whereas centimeters, there's too many centimeters.
I had to do the convert. I'm 195.
That's so many, like
6'5".
There's so many centimeters to remember. There's so many centimeters to remember. Who can remember all the centimeters? It's exhausting.
What about pounds and kilos though?
Oh no, kilos is easy. I never did pounds.
Okay.
So yeah, kilos or grams as my proclivities lay. But yeah, so that's easy. And kilometers and meters is easy.
Okay.
But when you get to like anything smaller than like 3 meters, which is maybe 4 yards, maybe more or less, then I'm all feet and inches.
Do they have stones in Australia?
Nah, that's a UK thing.
That's just only UK. That didn't make it over here.
We have rocks. We just don't have stones. Yeah, because
when someone's X stone, I don't know how many stones someone might be. Is a stone like?
I think it's a little bit like
20 pounds or something. Or
it's
40
a
pounds?
big bit, so people don't weigh many stones.
Yeah.
Unless they put them in their pockets and march into the sea, which a lot of comedians do.
I can't remember what it. You are right. It's a small number. Someone might be 4 stones.
No, I think it's like 12.
12 stones.
Yeah.
So it must be 20 pounds or something like that.
I don't know what pounds are. I don't know.
20 pounds is 8 kilos, I think.
All right.
2.2.
I know a little human is 90 pounds because of 90-pound weakling.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. That's what I love about America. We are so different. Like, we think because we're so socialized with American TV and things that we're the same. And then whenever I go there, I'm like, oh, gee, wow. And I love, because you're all so enthusiastic about everything. And I love that. Because I don't know if you can tell that about me, but
you have that. That's an American quality.
Yes.
Your enthusiasm.
I love it. My favorite American versus UK and Australian thing is that I have friends. I haven't done comedy in America yet.
Yes.
But I have friends who go there and their hour-long show they have to cut about 20 minutes out of it.
Okay.
And
because things just don't translate.
No. It's the exact same show. They do like a local pass. You know, when you're a comedian, like in Edinburgh, I had to do a local pass. And there was one almost absolute disaster with something I didn't even realise was a local thing, which we may get back to. Come on board. Come on, Peter. Catch up. And are you regretting getting me that coffee or?
Yes. No, you're fine.
Should I be speaking slower? Because I know...
No, Americans... I don't, first of all, I don't have any guests, I don't have any listeners yet, but I think most will be American.
The amazing thing is our accent has gotten a lot less. Like, I was watching a video from my primary school in the late 80s, and it was a video about Charlie the magpie, and I just went to a regular, like, for primary school, which is elementary school, regular suburban primary school, we all spoke like that. I was like, oh no, Charlie's gone, where's Charlie? And yeah.
And now it's smoothed a little bit?
It has, yeah. And I also, because
like the whole country?
Or? Mostly the whole country. The further up you get, they get broader.
Okay.
But I do a lot of traveling, you know, overseas. And I think one year I went for a month in Helsinki, about 3 weeks in Berlin, full run in Edinburgh, then went back to Berlin and met someone, fell in love. We were very, very busy, so we couldn't Skype for about a month before I got back. Okay. And my accent had come back, because I tend to, if I'm performing, especially for an audience where English may be their second, third, fourth, fifth language. Okay. I tend to enunciate more, get more clear, and because if you're performing every day, you do tend to get better at enunciation. And I was like, oh my God, it's so great to see you. I missed you so much. And he was like, I can't understand you. What? Did you always speak like this? Why? I don't know what you're saying. I'm like, oh, it's a connection bag. Because that's what Australians do. They like mumble and don't really, we talk fast, but we don't move our mouths. So, but anyway, so people have to cut or expand. Americans come here and their hour-long show goes for 42 minutes. Okay. Because an Australian or UK comic, and once you notice this, you can't unnotice it. Australian or UK comic will say, my wife and I got married last year and we're expecting our first child and I realised, and then launch into the joke. Okay. American comics will say, my wife and I got married last year and we're expecting our first child. And I realised, because Americans applaud. So,
really? For like the news?
The funniest thing, the funniest thing in the world is if you see an American and the audience in Australia or the UK, they're with them, right? But the American is visibly thrown because he goes, my wife and I got married last year, pause, and everyone has a very pleasant open face going, go on. Yes. And we're about to have our first child. Yeah, we've all got stuff going on, right? Go on. And they get so thrown by the applause, whereas the Australians in the UK get frustrated because they're like, no, wait, you're wrecking the rhythm. That's exposition. Right. And it's an amazing thing to watch.
Yeah, I've not ever heard that. I mean, obviously there's lots of audience differences.
Yeah.
That's one that
in Berlin, they very, very rarely heckle.
I can see that. It's against the rules.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've geeked with comics who... there's a comic who's an amazing... I won't say their name because it seems like I'm insulting them. Lean in, here's the tea. He is very seasoned. Okay. Was from the UK... has been living in Berlin for over a decade, got his start in comedy in Berlin. Okay. Does comedy many, many times a week. Okay. Right? A very seasoned performer. Had a heckler who was Australian and got really thrown because, they've had hecklers before, but not as many. It's a really interesting cultural thing of like, and because hecklers, there's so many different shades of them.
Oh, give me, what are the top 3 types of hecklers are there?
Okay, so happy heckler.
Okay.
I get them a lot because I'm very warm and inclusive, and I also talk about quite niche things. And so, for example, I'm polyamorous, and I'm kinky, and I'm queer, and I'm non-binary. So if I'm talking about one of those things, they're like, oh, me too! And they get excited, and it's a really sweet thing. It's bloody annoying because they want to, they get puppy, they want to get involved. And so I'll say something like, oh, it's, it's not like I live in Mitcham or anything. I live in, and they go, my auntie lives in Mitcham. And so you can't go in hot. You can't go like, I will make you a ghost. Because that kind of betrays the trust of the audience too.
Right.
Because they're a bit annoying,
it's just
but
a
bless
puppy.
them.
They're a puppy.
Exactly. So happy hecklers take a long time to kind of, work out how to cool, shush. And then there's the Asher Treleaven points out, again, a very Australian UK thing. We've got a lot of toxic masculinity stuff.
Okay.
The straight guy, who will basically come in and sit with his arms crossed and go like, I've bet myself $25, I'm not going to laugh at you. Go on then.
I see, right, yes.
And so it's less of a heckle, more of a, yeah, okay, go on. Which again, I don't think is a default in America. People are just like, all right, we've chosen to go to this.
I want to have fun.
Exactly,
I want to enjoy myself.
Yeah, whereas we're kind of like, yeah, go on then. What? Go on. Yeah. We've all got stuff going on, that kind of thing. What's another one?
So when you have that guy with the arms crossed, what do? Do you ignore or do you engage?
Yes and no. Like sometimes if I'm about to talk about something really weird, I get really excited because I just kind of giggle and go like, ooh, you're not going to enjoy this. And that usually breaks them.
Okay. And you say that to them?
Yeah. Like I don't tend to engage. I'm I glitched out. I'm a hyper extrovert. Don't know if you've known that about me.
I'm picking that up.
Yeah, right? Subtle, but who is she? And so with introverts, my husband's an introvert, a lot of my friends are introverts. I have no idea what they think. So I am hyper respectful, and I'm always like asexual people. It's like, I see you, I honor you, and I'm going to do what you need me to do.
Okay.
Now, I hate audience participation. And so for me as an extrovert hates it, what are these introverts going to say? So I tend to not do crowd work unless it's an audience who want to play.
Okay.
Like I do shows at a music festival at the end of the year every year. And they're a very high crowd. It's like basically gacked out 19-year-olds.
Okay.
So, 19-year-olds who've had a disco bicky. Look it up. And they want to play. They don't want to hear whimsical stories for 30 minutes. They want to run around and...
So you feel comfortable engaging with them.
Exactly.
Broadly.
And that's pretty much the only time. So, yeah, there's the happy heckler, there's the dowerman.
Yes.
And sometimes I'll just look at him and kind of go, And that kind of gets him on board too.
Okay.
Because he kind of realizes I'm being a dickhead now. And we've also got that tall poppy syndrome, which is, you think you're better than me.
Yeah,
It's
I see.
The other one, is the probably the boy tends to be quite like a nerdy boy who thinks he's good at comedy, and doesn't realize he's a submissive yet, which is really fun because I can just break them in half and then ask for another in 30 seconds.
He doesn't know he's a submissive yet?
Yeah, because people who are socialized as male tend to be dominant by default, and if they feel like they're into kink stuff, they will tend to go towards dominance. Whereas women, like people who are socialized as female, tend to let the perfect be the enemy of the good. So, I don't know about this. And there've been studies in this, like women don't go for jobs until they're overqualified.
Oh, I see, yes.
That kind of thing.
Right.
And it's the same in the kink world, which is fascinating. So
This
people...
sort of level of confidence. And
yeah.
comfort. Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I know I'm into this weird stuff, but I don't know enough about it. So maybe I'll just be the submissive... because I don't know how to flog a person. They don't have that bravado kind of thing. So taking them down is fun because it changes them. It sets them on the right path. They love it, Peter.
So I'm amazed you just haven't mentioned the stereotype heckler, which is the drunk person who just can't help themselves.
Oh, they don't matter to me, so I didn't even see them.
I see. They're a cliche.
Yeah, I tend to dazzle them too much because of my look and things. And again, I tend to kind of get mistressy voice at them, and they clam up.
I see.
Which is an act like it's a really fun thing to do, especially in like a kind of audience that's quite mainstream, because a guy will be like, you're bad, because I have a very, I guess, masculine presence on stage, even though I'm hyper feminine look, which is why I identify as a drag queen and things. They're not like, show us your tits, because I'd be like, yeah, you first, mud guts, go on then. And I think I encompass those kind of like sparkle puppy Muppet dominatrix things, and it glitches them out. It confuses them too much.
Okay, hold on. Let's unpack this.
Okay.
Sparkle
puppy Muppet dominatrix.
Yeah. So I think listeners will be most familiar with dominatrix.
Muppet.
Oh yeah, I guess.
Don't take away my childhood
Muppet.
joy.
So Muppet. So why Muppet?
Because look at me.
Mm-hmm.
And
this is why I take a picture of my.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Follow me on Instagram at Skye. Because I'm very optimistic. I love people. I love connection. I love providing an environment for people to have a good time in.
Okay.
Creating that is so special.
What Muppet would you be, or are you?
Oh,
you have to
look,
choose.
I feel like animal.
Okay.
I strive to be chaotic good. I'm scared I'm chaotic neutral, but I strive to be chaotic good. It'd be probably animal with Miss Piggy Rising.
Okay.
Because I'm not a diva. I have a pathological fear of being a bother. I figure because I'm already asking so much of people to deal with all of this.
Okay.
Like this extrovert
You put them off
energy
balance.
and-
You put people off balance.
No, I'm just scared I do. So
Okay.
I'm constantly not wanting to be a bother.
I see.
And so I'm constantly checking in. And again, because I'm dominant, like in my sexuality and stuff, I also kind of want to check in and make sure that, everyone's okay. Everyone's having a good time. So yeah.
Yeah, so dominatrix is the next one in that. So the dominatrix is about permission, isn't it?
Very much, yeah.
Right?
As the great poet Madonna said, poor is the man whose pleasures depend on the permissions of another from justify my love. You Madonna boy? You like Madonna, Peter?
I do like Madonna.
Yes.
Yes.
What genre? What field of Madonna?
All of it up until very recently.
That's fair.
What was the song? She has that song.
Ray
is
of
it
Light?
Time something. What is it called?
Are you thinking Time by Culture Club?
No.
Time won't let me time.
Well, I know Madonna from when she was part of the Big Three.
Madonna,
in the 80s.
Boy George and Michael Jackson, or are you saying Prince and Michael Jackson?
Prince and Michael Jackson.
That's fair.
It's not.
When Doves Cry, I reckon, is the perfect piece of minimalist pop. Don't at me.
I think that's interesting. I do think, as an aside, I saw Boy George a couple New Years ago.
Was he wearing his discreet fat jacket?
He was wearing a big hat.
Yes.
He's wearing a big hat.
No one can tell that I'm pudgy now. I've got big accessories. I love it.
He was great. His voice was fantastic. He put on a really good show.
The first time I saw him was when I was 2.
Okay.
And my mother dressed me like him.
Wow.
Any further questions?
You were destined.
Yeah.
So obviously our 80s stuff. God, I have to think. Hung Up? Is that the
that's a good
song?
one. Oh my God. There's this mashup. Now you get into my Tragic Queen thing. There is a mashup of Hung Up and...
I'm writing this down.
Yes, it's so good. What's the Kylie Minogue song? Well, there's Hung Up on Blue Monday, which is fine. But then there's Kylie Minogue... Oh, I forget which... There's a big Kylie Minogue song. I know you don't super get her in America, but still. Mashup of Hung Up and another, like a big club hit from Kylie. And it's a bloody banger.
I'll check it out. I actually do, with these, I'm going to do exhibits. So your Insta will be on there. And
excellent.
I'll do that. I'll do one or both of these mashups.
Yes.
Wait. You were asking me about Madonna. Oh yeah, so Madonna, Michael Jackson,
and Prince.
Those are the big 3.
Yeah.
From the 80s.
Yeah.
Madonna's got to feel like I won.
No, because I think she's had to fight so hard for everything.
Yeah.
So, like, she's living, but, I mean, think of what she does. She does, like, 78 hours of yoga a day. So, I mean, I don't even think she would feel like she's won because she's just had to work so hard. Meanwhile, Michael Jackson's got a tolerance that I'm impressed with. He was, having, like, as a little bit of a shush push, he was having surgery, like, anesthetists coming in.
Yeah, that's true. It is
for a little nap.
Yeah, I think they all have, obviously all their stories ended up a little sad. I think if you're in music, if you're a big star, eventually it gets sad. Yeah. In some way.
Not Britney Spears. She's never looked better.
why did we... Oh, we're talking about permission.
Oh, yeah.
Right, so
it's all about checking in with the audience,
Yeah, so it's a similar... So you describe yourself... So as a performer, in some ways you are a dominatrix because
very much,
you are...
Yeah. I'm creating a scene. I'm creating a mood.
You're flogging your audience with their approval.
Sure.
You're flogging them with your words.
Yeah. Because I get weird. It's not like, if you're thinking of what happens in a Rihanna film clip, ooh, think again. It gets real weird. Oh no, I shouldn't say that. Sorry. I'm more about, creating the mood that the person wants.
Okay.
Even if in the moment they don't want it. Like it's this, kind of, it's a cathartic mood. And I guess comedy is a catharsis as well. Laughing is a catharsis. Mm-hmm. So...
Okay. So and you had Puppy.
Yes. Because, again, look at me.
You do have puppy-like qualities.
Yeah. You'll find me, you find me a particular pleasing shade of teal. Oh, I'm happy for days.
I didn't know there was a pleasing shade of teal.
How dare. Okay, for one, rude. For two, get me my Google image search. It's not really teal. No, there's good ones, mate.
And what were the other ones? So
Sparkle, Puppy, Muppet Dominatrix. Sparkle just because I am glitter.
You're wearing glitter now?
This is biodegradable glitter. Very proud of this.
Oh.
Yeah.
And you're headed to a wedding after this?
Yes.
And so you're costuming for the wedding?
Or
you would be
this is my day look.
Like this normally?
Yeah, I just wear a hat for a wedding.
So that's the costume.
It is an offbeat wedding. I did ask the couple a couple of days ago, hey, do you want me at 5 out of 5 Lisa or 1 out of 5 Lisa? Because I tend to dress down for weddings.
So what is 1 out of 5 Lisa? What would she be wearing?
Probably leggings, booty shorts, a plain black shirt and a tie.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
Still drag queen eye makeup, but a little bit more toned down. Yeah. Maybe one color of lipstick rather than this kind of camouflagey effect.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So your 1 out of 5 is my 9 out of 5.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I get it.
I wish more people would do this because, it means that I don't have to tone myself down because this isn't even my final form. Uh-huh. If I could dress as a club kid, I've got 2 speeds basically, ridiculous drag queen and actual potato. So, big t-shirt, leggings as pants, singing along to Shakespeare's Sister at the supermarket.
I think from a fashion standpoint, anytime that I've ever kind of done something that I felt a little out of my comfort zone with, obviously curated, vetted by someone else, not my own decisions, but someone else saying, oh, you should try this, it'll be fashion forward kind of thing. That's when the compliments come. It's interesting how the thing that seems uncomfortable, I allow myself to do it, and then I get positive feedback. And these are very minor in your world, but they, in my world, they feel, much more so. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. People just want to see people making an effort. Mm-hmm. The really interesting thing is I do get aggression for this look.
Okay.
A lot of women tend to very furtively compliment me. I love your hair, and then leave. Your makeup is amazing, and then leave. Because they don't want to be a bother. Whereas men, and if they don't like my look, if they're bitching about it with their friends, I don't hear it.
Okay.
It's very furtive.
Okay.
Men feel the need to editorialize my look to me.
Okay.
So, once I was at a festival and a guy said, "You're very colourful." But he didn't say, you're very colourful. It was, you're very colourful.
Oh, right.
And without missing a beat, my husband said, and you're a 4 at best. And it was amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, people, like, guys, again, I think this tends to be an Australian UK thing. It's that, look at you, you reckon you're grouse. You reckon you're a bit, because, you know, I am so bright. So I'm going to tell you what I think of you and put you back in your place. Because me editorializing you means that I get the highest status on this interaction that doesn't even need to be an interaction.
Yeah, it's not solicited.
Exactly, yeah. So I get a lot of like people, like guys feigning shock, like, oh, or like, oh, what are you meant to be is a really good one.
Okay.
And I tend to just go meta, and I'm like, goodness, what an interesting thing to say to another person, isn't it? Really?
Yes.
Like to them, and it really glitches them out. I'm like, isn't it? That's such a strange thing to say to someone.
It is an interesting reversal when someone asks you about, you know, if you choose something about your life that's different than what the majority of people do, and you're asked about that, I think an interesting response to it is, oh, I'm happy to answer your question. However, I want you to answer the opposite question, which is, why are you doing...
Exactly.
Why are you not doing this? And
being very friendly and open.
Yeah.
And pointing out, like, you know, because it used to be, what are you meant to be? I'm like, a hot chick. How about you? But instead, it's much more effective to engage people in a dialogue. And also, you can be quite rude for your own amusement, and they don't pick up if you're talking like this. Because they'll be like, oh, what a strange thing to say to someone. Like, it almost seems like an undeveloped social anxiety thing. Like, you know, maybe that you're hiding something, or someone hurt you.
Right.
Like, are you okay? Are you okay? Do you need some water or something? We can talk, but are you okay? And yeah, they tend to apologize real quick. I'm like, no, that's fine. But just, do you like how I look? And they always say yes. I'm like, well, I mean, some other people who might be a bit shy or trying this for the first time, they might get really self-conscious if you say stuff like that, and then they won't look like this, and you won't see this, and that wouldn't be good, would it? So.
It's yeah, I think that it sounds like when you move through life, you have to work harder. Yeah,
and it annoys me. Like, Edinburgh is so hard because you're working 12 to 18 hour days. If you're not sleeping, you have to be working. You know, because it's such a huge expense to go over there.
Mm-hmm. I've heard this from other comics.
Yeah, you need to suck the marrow out of it.
Yeah.
And there are, at any point in the day, at any hour, there are 5 things you should be doing.
Okay.
And so sometimes, and everyone gets festival flu because, for example, I don't drink alcohol. I tend to live in festivals like I'm running a marathon. Okay. You know, I have my Jake Shake. I have my nutrients. I'm just like, yep, let's do this. But others, you know, get drunk and do all this, and they get sick, and then they infect the rest of us.
Okay.
And so there'll be times where I'm just tired, and I don't want to go out and deal with guys going, oh, you must like green. Like, oh, you must like noticing things.
Yes.
But then that just makes me do more of the thing, because I figure that they, in a way, win if they... And this look brings a lot of people joy, you know, and that's why I do it, because people go like, oh, sparkly, bright, nice, I like it.
Yeah, you know, I think I talk about this in my class about sort of polarizing people, and that this idea of living in a world where people are going to either love you or hate you. And that's an interesting world versus the world where everybody just thinks you're kind of a 3 on a 5-point scale. You just sit in the middle, but, you know, a world where half people think you're a 1 and half you think you're a 5. That's an interesting world to be in. But it causes more headaches too, right? It's an exciting world. It's a rewarding world, right? In the world of entertainment, obviously, right? We were just debating among Madonna, Michael Jackson, and Prince, all 3 musical geniuses, which one's best, right? Already, you know, it's the idea of being at the top. Yeah,
I'm very comfortable in that because I grew up in a 1s and 10s household, which is, I mean, I'm getting therapy for it now. It's
1s
deeply...
and 10s?
So everyone was either hysterically laughing or screaming and crying. There was no middle ground. So, like, my husband, for example, in his family, they're 4s to 6s out of 10 for happiness. So like, you know,
yeah, they sat in a little comfortable space
yeah,
in the middle.
someone wins $10 million. Hi, pretty good. Everyone dies in a fire. Bit of bad luck. You know, whereas if someone stubs their toe in my family, it's like, someone finds a penny. Yes, we don't even have them here. Yes. So he gets justifiably extremely tense around my folks, and then I get very tense around his family because they're so lovely. But I'm like, when's the tension break?
Yes,
when's it going to happen?
And it never does.
It never does.
Yeah.
And
Bit of bad luck.
Yeah, bit of bad luck. But yeah, so I've, you know, and we've been together for, 14 years now.
Okay. So it's not changing.
It's not changing.
No.
But I need him to be like that too, because then when I get hysterical, he's like, calm down, mate. Come on. What are you doing? He talks to me like a disappointed cricket coach, just like, mate, what are you doing? Come on.
You know, this term mate, I'm very fond of. I don't feel like I can use it.
Yeah, it's fair. It sounds weird in the American mouth, because it's like pal.
Yeah, Americans don't have a good equivalent for mate.
Pal, buddy.
Yeah, but that's not
Dude?
not good. No, none of those are good because you could.
Because mate can be like, what do you reckon, mate?
Yes.
Yeah.
You
Oh.
can use mate with strangers.
You can use
You can use mate with women.
Yeah.
But you can't use pal, dude, buddy, any of those things in the United States broadly.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I sort of think of, so I like the word comrade.
Mm.
It's an interesting word, I think, because it cuts across friendships and so on. It's like this sort of uniting idea. But you can't use I'm not suggesting anyone use comrade, but there's something about the term comrade that feels like mate to me. But the U.S. doesn't have an equivalent of that. I like it. It's so affectionate. It's such an affectionate term in my view. So when you said that your husband says mate.
Yeah, because it is gender neutral and all. Although,
it is.
Oi, mate. Yeah, you can say it badly, like, oi, mate. Come on now. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it can be negative.
It can be negative, yes, but in general, it feels affectionate. We're going to run out of time. I have to.
All right, should we do lightning round?
Things.
Let's do it.
I actually only do 2 questions that I always end with.
I'll be succinct.
Which is, what are you reading, watching, or listening to that really stands out?
The thing that
You're
watching
just like, wow.
was Sense8. I just finished watching that.
What is that?
And Sense8 is the Wachowski siblings. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
It's a TV show. I got really, because I do a lot of activism with my comedy, you know, so a lot of basically creating space for the other and being as good and as visible as an other as I can.
Okay.
And so Sense8, I was saying to my husband, I'm like, I just want to watch something with no genders. And he was like, what about this? It's got all the genders. and it's just a beautiful, like, I very rarely see representations of me on screen.
Yeah, I can see that being a problem.
Yeah, and so I really enjoyed Sense8.
Okay.
Hot tip if you're going to watch it, you're not going to understand the first 2 to 3 episodes, and that's fine. Just let it wash over you. It gets easier. Reading, Smudgy in Monsterland by Paul Rashi. It's the darkest thing I have ever read. It's set in an alternate history where it's in the deep, deep future. And he's a visual artist, Paul Rashi.
Okay.
But he paints these landscapes that are like dazzling and horrific. And it's about a boy, an orphan, who goes to an orphanage in the hyper future. Okay. And I'm not a sci-fi guy usually, but it's bloody magnificent. It's a wonderful.
Smudgy Monsterland.
Smudgy in Monsterland.
In Monsterland. So it's about a person in a land of monsters.
Yeah, it went
Smudgy.
Yeah, it went out of print, and I loved it so much that I contacted him and said, do you have any more of them? Can I sell them in my merch store?
Oh, that's
And
great.
so now I sell them in my merch store because I'm like, please, people need to know. And reading, watching, listening to. I have a voracious taste as far as music goes.
Okay.
Unfortunately, my favourite genre is irredeemably awful. It's bad 90s skater punk, like Lagwagon, NoFX.
Okay, yes.
They're
I know
not good.
NoFX.
They're not good. I love them. They're not good. People try and point out that they're not good, like I don't know that. I know that. I'm 36. I've been going to concerts since I was 2. I know that.
You know, I remember, do you know the Pie Tasters?
No.
It was like some ska band, a buddy of mine.
Oh, okay.
introduced me
I'm
to.
kind of more into the skater punk than the ska. I
I
do
see.
enjoy some ska.
Okay. She's reaching far to the left.
But it's
right
more
now.
about Lagwagon, Vandals,
see.
no offense.
Okay.
But also I love podcasts.
Okay.
Tea with Alice is a very good podcast.
What makes it good?
That it's a space for people to safely discuss controversial opinions in a very philosophical way.
Okay.
Like, hey, I'm wrestling with this idea. Let's discuss it without emotion.
Is Alice from the UK?
She's based in the UK, Alice Fraser. I don't think I put her on the... No, I did put her on the list because I'm hoping she's going to come to Melbourne.
Oh, I see.
She is originally from Melbourne.
Okay. It just
Also
seemed
watching...
like the way you talked about that, it just seems so UK. Tea, emotionless.
She grew up Buddhist, so she didn't
I
have an
see.
alcohol Australia background. So tea. Also watching Peter. I'm so into vaporwave. Do you know what vaporwave is?
I have no idea.
Oh my god, I'm so into vaporwave. Vaporwave. I wish I was kidding. Vaporwave is an art movement that I am super, super into. It's basically you get kids that were born in the 90s, reimagining what the 80s was like. And they've also done a bunch of ketamine.
There's no way that people should be romanticizing the 80s
Oh my God,
as much
it's so
as
good.
they should.
It's so good. Have you seen it though? It's so good. It's so good.
I've lived through it. It was not great.
Look, they've taken the good. But it's that weird, it's this uncanny valley thing. Because, I mean, I'm 36, so I was born in 81. But I do tend to kind of skew a lot older as far as my memories go. Because my parents... showed me a lot of...
You were watching Boy George at age
2.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I never had to, discover music because it was always there. But it's such an uncanny valley thing because you look at this stuff and it is 80s-ish. And you can see, it is very uncanny valley.
Yeah, I think nowadays I will hear songs and I was like, there's the 80s right there.
Yeah, that clap or...
Yeah, that stuff has made a comeback.
Yeah, well, because Vaporwave is also a musical movement that I haven't really got into.
So if I Googled Vaporwave
you'll
or
see
put into YouTube...
And then do image search. No, do image search. Vaporwave is so good. Image search.
Okay, last question.
Yes.
What's the secret to success that everybody knows but can't seem to do?
Bite off more than you can chew, then chew it. Work hard, live weird.
Okay, so let's unpack this.
Okay.
Bite off more than you can chew and then chew it. So.
Yes. So I guess ostensibly not only take risks, but agree to things.
Say yes.
And then do them.
Yeah. I've heard this story. I've heard this a number of times from people who are just they're like, can you do this? You're like, yeah, of course I can. And then...
But can you?
But they can't.
Yeah.
And then they figure out how to do it.
Yeah, so it's artistic kind of predisposition to overcommit because every project's amazing.
Okay.
And also, you don't know which ones are going to take off, which ones are going to be really fun. So you agree to everything. And then it's following through on that.
I talked to Jillian Cosgrove.
Yeah.
And that came up with her. She's just doing 100 things.
Yeah, you've got to.
Yeah.
So many people say oh, yeah, I always wanted to do the little comedy thing, your little sketches and it's like, well, then do it. Then just do it. Which is a very privileged thing, but you just need to know. I mean, there are two types of comics. There are comics that genuinely can get stoned and play video games all day. My copy of LA Noire was in its shrink wrap for 2 years before I got a chance to open it. A PlayStation 3 man, Child of Eden, it's a banger, best game. But I just played Last of Us for the second time. Anyway, so and again, I'm name dropping Last of Us, the first Last of Us. That is indicative of how busy I am. Yeah, okay. Which it was a video game that was released many years ago.
I see. I stopped playing video games at age 18.
So you would have been a SNES boy?
Let me think. Well, I was around when Atari landed.
See, I had Amiga 500. That was the best with Shinobi Mission 3. Oh, what? You didn't know that was Mission 3?
I think I had given up by then.
Amigas were like late 80s.
Nintendo... Maybe PlayStation was just getting going.
Oh, so it would have been like Nintendo 64. The fake Nintendo, so. Don't at me.
I think... but I think that for me, that was a good choice. You know, to leave that world behind.
I do need some pastimes. I tend to work because I'm self-employed as an artist. I work 7 days a week. If I'm not sleeping, I'm working. My psychologist has genuinely asked me to play more video games.
Just as a way to just...
I'm like, no, can't. There's too much work to be done.
That's already very active. Like, it's interesting that's the... I guess that's... I'm not entirely surprised to hear that, right? So your form of entertainment is active, not passive. Yeah.
Although a lot of my forms of entertainment are dissociative, which is really interesting.
What do you mean by that?
Well, you know, when I need a break, the things I tend to do are dissociative rather than active. You know, like
I nap. That's how I take a break.
I wish I could nap. When I'm very stressed, and I'm very stressed at the moment, my body takes away sleep because I'm such a bloody type A. It's like, all right, you've got some problems. What we'll do is we'll remove sleep.
Yeah, we'll just
so you've got more time
to
focus. Go on then. Right. Which is not
more lists.
Yeah.
So the second thing you said after taking a big bite, and then chewing it, what was the second thing you said?
Just go on, shake my baby to death. Bite off more than you can chew into it.
Bite off you.
Take quite a large mouthful and then consume it, and then it's part of you, and then you
fill up
digest
your plate
it.
and then eat it all.
Like a buffet situation.
What was the second thing you said?
Work hard, live weird.
Work hard, live weird.
So I am genuinely shocked that people don't do the things that make them happy. So many people go the default life. I think it's lessening now with things like polyamory becoming more prevalent. You know, like having multiple partners. And
there's
things
been a
like
licensing, I think. Like people now you can see it, right?
Yeah.
So I think if you're on a dating app, you'll come across people who are living a different lifestyle.
Yeah.
There's more conversation about it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so it's opening it up to people who have it in them.
Yeah, and either wouldn't realize or feel like they can't. Like, people tend to call me a hedonism muse. Either that or a joy succubus, because I love happiness. No. But hedonism muse in the way of like, yes, let me safely take you through, safely, morally, and ethically take you through what will bring you pleasure that you may not have considered, or you might have been too scared to do because you don't have the ideal circumstances or like a guardian to help you with that. Which is emotionally taxing, but good. Because, introducing people to pleasure is yum.
Okay, so I'm writing down work hard.
Live weird.
Live weird.
That's a Skye's the original, that is.
Lisa Skye, this was really good.
I
really appreciate you doing it. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to visit petermcgraw.org for more information about our guest, show notes, and social media links. If you've enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and share with others. Join Dr. Peter McGraw next week for another fun, fascinating conversation on I'm Not Joking.